What about so?
Nakita mo ba yung tweet niya?
Sige, daanan natin.
So, mag-usapan ka ng latag. Let's talk about this game.
Recap.
And then the entire theme of the series. Like yung Alaska fight.
So game. Then parang panic
so
ng SMB. SMB. Wala naman listeners. SMB tapos Alaska. Then what, like moving forward? Is SMB the team to beat na?
Ang ganun niya.
Sa akin pag may...
One. Kaya hindi ka na ano ng life. That would have been heartbreaking, bro.
I'd watch live. There would have been like 20,000 people seeing me cry. As in just straight up seeing me cry.
Probably like 20,000 people like pointing at you or alam mo blaming you.
Yeah, as in parang looking at me saying, "Ikaw kasi ba't ka nandito?
Oh, exactly.
Do you not want your team to win?"
Yeah.
Ganun mga ano sa akin. Pero alam mo ba, may isang nag-tweet sa akin. Alam mo yung bus na nasunog sa EDSA? Sabi niya, "Sir, if you go to the Araneta Coliseum, ito yung mangyayari sa sasakyan mo."
Wow. I think that sealed it. That sealed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
staying home. I'm not going anywhere. Game?
Game?
Alright, let's do this thing. Okay. Oh man.
Alright. Compose yourself. Is this how you feel?
Huh?
Does this song capture how you feel?
Like, is there any other song? Do you know that moment when Little Foot found the 3-star?
Oh my god, yeah.
After his mom died.
Yeah.
That's San Miguel. kami yung sharp teeth eh.
Yun.
Kami yung namatay sa dulo eh. That's Alaska. And on that note, guys, welcome to the championship recap episode of From the Stands. We are thankful that you guys are hanging out with us on the show, and we want to thank you for spending your time.
Medyo na-delay kasi Chuck was aimlessly wandering the streets of Metro Manila after this tough Game 7 loss.
Hindi ko alam ano yung tweet ko. Kasi hindi ko talaga alam.
Okay. Gusto ko lang i-frame Yung last tweet ni Chuck was, "Oh no, nagbinti si Dondo ng ng free throw."
Yeah.
That was your last tweet.
Yeah.
And then after that, no tweet.
There's a jump ball.
Yeah.
Then I said, that's worse.
Yeah,
instead of actually fouling, then hoping that they miss.
Because, Junmar could have tapped it all the way to the backcourt. Anyway, the funny part was, Chuck, hindi siya nagparamdam sa Twitter. Hindi siya nagre-reply dun sa FTS Viber group namin. So, medyo natakot ako. So, tinitext ko siya, "Bro, tutuloy pa ba tayo? Bro, okay ka lang?" So, nung nag-text siya ng yup, as in walang exclamation point, walang period.
Word ganun?
Oh, Chong, natakot ako eh. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari sa'yo nun eh. Ay. Okay.
Before anything, in complete and full fairness, we need to congratulate San Miguel. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in complete Homer fanboy mode, this entire series. I tried to be impartial. I tried to be subjective, but man, when you're cheering against a team like San Miguel Beer, it's such an parang you look at them and they're just so intimidating.
Yeah.
They're so imposing. They're just so scary. Na parang there are times na you really think na how the heck is this Alaska Aces team going to beat this San Miguel team? And I give all the credit in the world to the Beermen. They went out and they got this championship.
Yeah, I mean.
They did.
They had to earn it, and that's both credit to San Miguel Beer and also credit to Alaska. I mean, it's amazing that San Miguel had to fight for this, given how dominant their entire lineup is. They had to be pushed to a game 7, had to build a 21-point lead at halftime, lose that, get down by 8, and then fight back.
Yeah.
With only 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and if there was a epitome of the word earning a championship, this was the game. This was the team that had to earn the championship. As in, talagang inagaw nila from Alaska yung trophy.
Kasi I don't want to know kasi I'm not an SMB fan, but I think it's pretty safe to say na there were SMB fans nung lumamang na yung Alaska ng mga 6.8 points. Like in the
Nawala
last...
sila sa timeline ko. Nawala.
As in silent, dead
Oo,
silence.
dead silent.
It's all Alaska.
Ralph Renz was posting pictures of yung magbibigti na daw siya. Hughes, Camille, parang just couldn't believe it. They were just dumbfounded by how a 21-point lead could evaporate into a 3-point lead by the end of the third. And then, pagdating sa fourth quarter, midway through the fourth, ma-build up ng Alaska to an 8-point lead. Even I wasn't, I couldn't believe what happened. As in, when I saw the lead go up to it, I'm like, what the hell just happened? Diba? Parang,
how is this happening?
Exactly, how is it happening?
And if you're an SMB fan, it's why is this happening against our team? I mean,
yeah.
The thing is kasi, hindi ko alam kung napansin mo, pero nung after halftime, nag-tweet ako na hindi ko na alam anong sasabihin ko eh. So, I just started tweeting pictures na lang ako.
Yeah. Nakita ko yun.
Pero like torn ACL, torn Achilles tendons, yung Paul Pierce, yung sa final. Kasi hindi ko na alam anong sasabihin ko eh. And parang this series just had so many twists and turns. Not to try to predict what was going to happen. It's basically an exercise in futility na lang talaga. Because, I mean like, kasi it can either go two ways eh. If SMB has a big lead, it can go the route of game 3, game 4-4, which we watched. Which is SMB will just hold on to the lead and then just blow out Alaska. Or it will go the way on the route of game 6. Na parang okay, Alaska will have like this heart-stopping run and then beat SMB. So you kind of didn't know which way it was going to go.
I don't think they had twists and turns. I just feel that meron themes yung games eh. It's either SMB will be downright dominant and win the game big, or Alaska will come back from a huge deficit to win the game. Yun lang naman yung dalawang route of each team to get their wins. So parang at one end, it was SMB asserting their dominance. But on the other end, it's also Alaska scrapping and forming a wall, stopping SMB from scoring.
Effing wall. Yeah.
Stopping SMB from scoring, and then getting the running game, getting that tantantinin pace.
Shout out Miko Lili.
Getting that pace up.
Yeah.
And playing at the speed that they like.
Let's try to break down this game. So Alaska starts with my favorite starting lineup of shout out to Tony De La Cruz. It's a weird.
He was big for you in Game 6. Hindi ito mag-Game 7 kung walang TDLC ng Game 6.
Game 7 na. So short memory.
Chuck, tatanong ko sa'yo. Game 7. Okay. Why would you not start Calvin Abueva?
The only reason I can think of why they wouldn't start Calvin Abueva, I said this before, is that if you start Calvin, he's just this ball of energy and you run the risk of him getting into foul trouble right away. And because of that, parang meron siyang chain reaction. Ngayon, if he's in foul trouble to start the game, he won't be able to come in with the second five.
Yeah, okay.
And because of that, parang mawawala na yung energy guy nila off the bench. Kumbaga, he's insurance in case Alaska is down again by a big margin. Like, you can insert Abueva and then see if they can sort of trim down the lead. That being said, but I felt like even though you don't start Abueva, there are still so many other players who could have taken the place of Tony De La Cruz to start that game.
Vic Manuel.
You can go Vic Manuel. I think the way that Manuel started in Game 6, I kind of thought na, okay, maybe it's okay to insert him back in the starting lineup.
He secured the starting lineup at least for the remainder of the series.
Kasi parang gets na niya kung paano depensahan si Arwin and kung paano niya kayang iskoran si Arwin. The thing about that Alaska lineup and also in the second quarter, there was a lineup in the second quarter. And this is crying over spilled milk. Stops na yung game pero what are you gonna do, diba? Alaska had this lineup of Tony De La Cruz, Cyrus Baguio, I think Eric Menk was there, and then I think something like Banchero and Azul.
Banchero and Caso.
Yeah, and SMB was playing this spread offense na Junmar in the paint, tas 4 shooters outside. Now, Alaska knows na pag ganyan, they have to rotate and cover on the shooters because that ball is gonna keep swinging, and that's how SMB is able to beat Alaska. But the thing is, bless their hearts, those players, sila Tony and sila Cyrus, they're a step slow at this point in their career. So it really opened up the floodgates because they just couldn't rotate enough. That's why Armin went wild, Cabagnot, Lassiter. That's why Junmar also was able to get a lot of offensive rebounds because Menk murdered Eric Menk in the interior. Now that being said, you have to give credit din talaga to San Miguel because their game plan for at least for the first half, basically they were unguardable because we talked about this before na you can try to contain Junmar Fajardo, but if players like Lassiter and like Arvin Santos are ready to play and they actually make the shots that they are supposed to make, how can you beat this team? You can't beat San Miguel if all 5 players are locked in and they're on a string and they're passing the ball from left to right, starting with Junmar tas and dishes. You just can't stop it.
Sorry, my point of view lang kasi with Alaska's starting lineup is that ito na naman they allowed themselves to get down big again, and it's so hard to fight back against this imposing SMB squad being down double digits in the first half. So I would have liked to see, and the real change that I would have liked to see was Ping, Exeminiano, or Banchero. JV, I have no problem with the starting lineup.
Sure.
Thos, I have no problem in the starting lineup.
Sure.
It's just that Alaska executes a lot of their offense, at least in the series, off the fast break, off turnovers, off defensive stops. And fine, may execution sila half court, pero they're not gonna beat SMB by, going at them head on. So I would have liked to see a lot more disruption with Banchero, Ping, or even Calvin to start the game, because that definitely, probably, in my opinion, would have kept them close. And yun yung di ko na-gets with Tony De La Cruz. Tony De La Cruz has been an amazing player throughout his PBA career, but at this point, trying to rush out after guys like Lassiter or Lutz, and then
Nightmare.
The moment you rush out at them, they drive in, hindi na siya makarecover. And
then everything, the defense breaks down.
Everything falls down. So parang, that's also why Foss got his second foul early.
Yeah.
And Menk had to come in early. That's one of the biggest reasons why Alaska went down in the first half by that big.
Yeah, so, and then again, SMB basically, parang at this point, you're not surprised anymore how SMB beats Alaska. It's more the fact that the adjustments that Alaska tried to make in the first half didn't work. Everything just fell to pieces. Now you get to the second half naman, and hindi ko alam I don't know how it started. I don't know what, but there's just something about the Aces na kapag nag-run sila, parang
unstoppable.
Nanginginig sa takot yung SMB. Like you can feel they're tight, you can feel they're just turning the ball over left and right. And
It's the same story.
It's
We
same
saw
story.
this in Game 3. We saw this in Game 6. We saw this in Game 1. Alam mo, all the Alaska wins have been come from behind, fearless 20, 16, 18 point runs. It's not
23.
hindi siya
Uh,
how do you say it? Hindi siya maliliit na 6-0 run, time out, 8-0 run. Parang pati si Coach Leo minsan nagpapanik. Like, he overcalls timeouts or doesn't call them at the right time. So, it's like a chain reaction. When Alaska starts a run, SMB gets rattled. And they really look like they lose poise throughout, at least for the third quarter.
So, what was the difference? Is it the fact that Alaska missed a crapload of free throws? Kasi, alam mo, like, Don missed a free throw. Calvin missed a lot of free throws. JV missed free throws. Sonny missed so many free throws. And if you look at the replay right now, I think it's showing on Fox. And you're an Alaska fan. They lost by 2 points. And obviously, it's sort of irresponsible to say na 2 points if they just made 2 more free throws, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, parang it's opportunities, possessions, it's free points that could have swung the game and could have changed the storyline. But time and time again, Alaska really was just unable to capitalize. I made this point. I think that the reason why sinagot ko na sa sarili ko tanong. But my theory kung bakit natalo din yung Alaska in the end is we before this game, Alaska would come back after 21 points, after 17 points. Now here in this game, they came down from 23, if I'm not mistaken, 23 or 21. Now it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of fatigue. It takes a lot of emotions. It takes a lot of basically everything you have to.
Kumbaga sa 2K15, pagdating ng fourth quarter,
Gatorade
naka-Gatorade symbol na yung mga Alaska
correct. And the underrated thing then about the run of Alaska was that everything was happening from inside.
Yeah.
There were hardly any 3-pointers made. If I'm not mistaken, wala, except for Cyrus, a few lang. Basically, their shooting was ice cold. JV couldn't hit one. Don couldn't hit one. And because of that, parang they exerted so much energy in the
They
inside.
had to exert more effort than if they were hitting threes.
Exactly. Which is, kumaga, isang Don 3, magbubukas ng loob But again, I give credit to San Miguel because the thing about SMB was, sige, third quarter na-rattle sila, nasindak sila. But in the fourth, they took the punches of Alaska and they hit back. I mean, you had crucial shots from Lutz, crucial threes from Arvin Santos, and
Tip in by
Tubid. And it was really an impressive effort to look at this SMB team and say na these guys are fighting back.
Yeah.
I mean, we know about this whole Petro novela. We know all about the storylines, all the internal stuff happening about SMC, and parang you just assume na they're gonna fold but they fought back.
Yeah.
And it started with Arvin Santos hitting these crucial, impossible, not Arvin Santos shots.
Yung tres ni Arvin Santos to give San Miguel the lead with under a minute left.
No one thought it was gonna go in.
Pababa na siya nun. That was pure arm strength on Arvin Santos' part to be able to get that shot off. And I didn't think it was going in, but it had a good line. He got the strength out. All net. And hindi siya, it was in my opinion, like one of those Hail Marys na lang na.
You know what it was? It was the Ryan Buenafe shot versus ECU. Like, it was a shot, it's a low percentage shot. It's something that maybe they could have gotten a better shot out of it. But it's your superstar doing what a superstar is supposed to do. And he made it. And it was a deflating shot for Alaska. They did not score a point afterwards. Basically, kumagat that point, oh crap.
Yeah.
Maybe it is San Miguel's time to actually
ako kasi your point of Alaska going down by 20 points and trying to make a comeback from that in a game 7, that's tough to do. I mean, mentally and physically, I assume the fatigue on the players for both mental and physical energy that they had to expend in that was an intense amount of energy. But Free throws, yes, definitely. That would have changed the tide. I mean, a couple of free throws here would have stopped some momentum from San Miguel. A couple of free throws there would have increased your momentum. Alam mo yun, maraming free throws aren't just points on the board. In the flow of the game, a free throw can mean stopping a run or extending a run. Especially if it's a end one type of free throw. You know,
sure.
An end one type of free throw, as long as you make it, ang laking bagay nun.
Sure.
But here's the thing about San Miguel, and here's the thing that impressed me about San Miguel. It's that everyone, and you mentioned it, expected them to fold. Everyone expected them to fold, and even I think Alaska expecting them to fold.
Yep.
I think Alaska, in the third quarter and up to half of the fourth
Here
quarter,
it comes,
they were expecting Alaska. They were expecting San Miguel to just let go, and it ended up na yung Alaska pa yung mukhang bumitaw. When they had the 8-point lead, they relaxed. They couldn't finish defensive stops. They were giving up offensive rebounds. I mean, minor breakdown sa defense kaya nakakalusot si Lutz, nakakalusot si Lassiter. I mean, it's yung offensive rebound ni Junmar, he missed two free throws, and he got it back and hit 2 free throws again. So
it was the way that SMB did it, quietly.
Yeah.
Na parang ako, to be perfectly honest, when Arvin made that shot, akala ko lamang pa kami ng mga 4 points or like 5-6 points or something.
SMB lulled you into...
Pero 2 points na lang pala.
Yung nag-rope-a-dope doon yung SMB. They played coy, they played possum, kala mo lamang na kayo ng malaki. But they chipped at it, and with their own defensive stops, with their own offensive rebounds, which has been the strength of San Miguel, offensive rebounding, it's been... They chipped at that 8-point lead, and eventually, doon nabuksan yung opportunity for that Arwin Santos 3-point shot. Yung mas painful part pa doon was that lalagyan mo talaga to. Yung mas painful part pa doon was the move that Sanitas was doing to Junmar the entire night. Yung up and under, hindi niya nagawa ng dulo because Junmar stood his ground. And Arwin was the one who got the rebound. It was that key defensive stance. Parang in the last 2 minutes, the role switch. SMB yung naging Alaska. Sila yung lumaban. And they had a good defensive stand.
You know what's funny about this game? Okay, my story.
Yeah.
This game killed every single narrative that people were trying to throw at Alaska.
That never say
Think about it this way. Never say die didn't work. Never say die didn't work. The Don Ontiveros beating his former team didn't work. The Calvin Abueva is the deserved to be BPC didn't work because he missed that shot. The JV Casio, as long as he's on fire, he'll be able to beat this team didn't work.
Yeah.
Every single thing didn't work. Na parang wala eh. I mean, SMB completely and totally deserved this win. You can blame the referees if you want, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can blame. I mean, you can blame Ronald Tubid for doing the timeout thing at the end. But wala eh. Para at the end of the day, they stuck together and they won. I mean, the thing then about finals, it's never gonna be pretty. You're gonna have to bleed to eke out a victory. The same way that Pure Foods did or SMC did versus Rain or Shine last season, di ba? Parang Rain or Shine missed a lot of shots. SMC missed a lot of shots, and basically, kumaga they just did enough in order to win eh. So it was really just it was really their time.
Okay. Nawala yung Uptown Punk mo, no? Let's talk storylines.
Wait lang, let's read muna some comments before we go to Again, congratulations to SMB.
Let's hear Paulo Bustamante give Alaska some props. SMB won by 2 points and Cash was able to get a 3-point shot off. Yeah, props. Props for that win by SMB. I mean, Alaska played hard, and that's the truth of it. I mean, it sounds cliche, it sounds worn out, but that's what Alaska did. It's just that they didn't push for all of the fourth quarter. In the final 2 minutes, bumitaw sila. And I'll give them props for coming back, but after being down by 21 points, most teams would have folded. Ginebra folded when they were down big against SMC. But I'll give Alaska props for fighting back. But I mean, the last 2 minutes, bumitaw sila. And I mean, I can't give Alaska props for letting go of an 8-point lead with around 4 minutes to go in a game 7. It's hard to give them props for that, but for fighting back from 21 points down, props to them. Total props to Alaska.
Sige. So, I invited a friend of ours to come and read our comments.
Okay.
To substitute muna for Carlo kasi
Sige.
pumaparty siya with SMB.
Oo naman.
SMB fan yan eh.
Oo.
Bandwagon fan yan for SMB. So, please welcome our friend, the great Joakim Noah.
Hindi kita.
What's up, Joe? So, Joakim will be the one to read our tweets kasi I'm just too sad right now. So go ahead and read, Joe. Tinanong ni JP Manahan, our main man, JP Manahan. Review of an age-old question. Is Arwin Gilas a ball? Is Arwin worth going to Gilas? Alam mo kung...
Yeah. Hands down, yeah. I mean, Arwin Gilas worthy. He's a guy with enough strength to guard threes, enough speed to guard, enough strength to guard fours, enough speed to guard threes. He has an outside shot, and it doesn't seem like he ages. He's still churning out 16-12s every damn night. So, I mean, and it's not like he's a loose cannon. You know what I mean? Arwin will do his job and do it well. The problem of him being not clutch or not playing with heart, if you saw how fired up he was to start the game, that should have solved your question. If you saw how he ended the game, that should solve your question.
You don't think he's a bit too old to make an impact on the team?
I think if you're still putting RDO, Arwin deserves a shot. If you're still putting Ping, Arwin deserves a shot. You know what I mean?
Next question that Joakim's gonna ask is... Talk about Arwin Santos. He's a finals MVP. He played...
Wait. My turn to play some music.
You're going to play music, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna play music. Just for fun.
I forgot to bring my guitar.
Man, imagine how one single changes the narrative on a MVP.
You should have known, no? That when Arwin released this album, maybe it was really just destiny.
Yeah. Like it was a plan. It was a plan to redeem himself. It was a plan to change the image on him, and he totally changed the image of him. This entire conference, Arwin was a beast, and he played relentlessly from start to finish. He didn't disappear in the fourth, and usually in games like this, dito mo makikita mag-wilt si Arwin. Dito mo makita na he'll get his 16-12, but in the fourth quarter mawawala na siya. But man, this guy showed up in the fourth quarter and was... Nung pagod na si Junmar, parang si Arwin na lang natitira. He had about as much intensity as this guy here.
My main man. Kudos to, wala akong masabi about Arwin Santos. He was just fantastic. Shout out to Miyaka Lim. NSD, bro!
Yeah! Miyaka! Woo!
Shout out to Miaks, NSD. Bago ang lahat, how are you, Chuck? I'll be okay. Actually, thank you to everyone who was checking up on me.
Ang daming nag-check up sa'yo. No?
Like, I really appreciated that. I think after I posted pictures of people dying, getting injured, Mufasa dying, namamak Bambi, feeling ko na
medyo nag-freak out na ibang tao.
Oh, okay. Next is... Anything else? Paki-discuss naman yung jump ball ni Abueva at ni JMF. Tinanong ni OL118, parang may mali. Well, nakuha naman Alaska, so okay lang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Related to that.
Sure.
Why did Fox call a time?
I think he just froze.
Okay. Parang the moment that he got the ball, he saw JB.
Yeah.
That's painful though. You guys had timeout and about 1.5 seconds to win. I mean, a play could have been designed better than that JB heave.
I just want to acknowledge something that Darren Pangan said. Props to Alaska, but I think I said that. He said, come on. I don't know if you said that or I did, but sabi niya, come on, you're making it sound like SMB swept Alaska. They won in Game 7 in the final minute. I'm really not sure exactly kung ano yung mali sa sinabi natin and kung ano yung... Pero, wala eh. At the end of the day...
No. Like I said, Alaska...
Ikaw ba nagsabi nito or ako?
Hindi. Like I said kanina, Alaska, props to them for fighting back. Props to them for being able to get it to a Game 7. Props to them for going up against... And they were overmatched in this. I mean, you could make a case that the Ginebra lineup or the... or even the Tokentex lineup was better matched for this SMB team. But, I mean, props to Alaska for hanging with SMB. But you can't congratulate Alaska for losing a final series. That's not a thing.
Yep. Okay. Next is tinanong ni Joshua Figueres. Next move for Alaska. Any roster changes ba or stay? How can you change anything in this lineup? I mean, okay, I'll start. I was advocating that maybe Alaska needs a different start small forward. Maybe they need someone younger. Maybe they need an energy player. Kumaga sa small forward position talaga eh. But honestly, I don't know who else is out there that they can get.
Or who you'd give up.
And who would we give up? I mean, the logical answer maybe is to give up someone like Gabby Espinas because you have Vic Manuel.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Eric Meng can't play forever. Diba? So, nandyan yung mga ganun dynamics. But I completely trust na Alaska knows what they're doing.
Dream scenario though. Who are you going for?
Sean Anthony. Sean Anthony feeling ko is someone who's gettable.
For whom? Espinas. Would you give up Cyrus for Sean Anthony?
Next question. Cyrus Baguio proved a lot of doubters wrong in this final
he did.
That's why those are yung mga
Tough questions to answer.
Okay. Tinanong ni Nilo Mercado, double rice 110. Sir, may Ask FTS ngayon. This is what we're doing right now. So Nilo, kung may questions ka, feel free to fire away. Okay, ang ganda nito. Julie versus Kung natalo SMB, ano kaya mararamdaman ni Tubig? Yung sa timeout.
Okay. Medyo unclutch yun.
Hindi masyado clutch yan.
Tsaka he was trying to get out of it pa by saying na it was him fighting.
Oh, but no eh.
No. It was clear that he called the timeout eh. It was clear that because he did that. And it was clear from every angle that he
Tsaka he did that and no one was beside him.
Yeah.
Diba? So kumaga, okay, sinong malapit sa'yo? So who are you trying to bat the ball against?
Exactly.
Tapos kitang-kita na nagsisinungaling siya. Bro, akala ko ba safe ka?
Pero,
kakarating lang ni Pope Francis nagsinungaling kayo.
Pero flip side, how do you think Don feels about it?
Oh my God.
I mean, let's talk about it. He makes the free throw, they're only down by 1. JV would not probably have needed to heave a 3 in the final seconds if everything plays the same. But I mean, how huge was that one missed free throw for
obviously it was the game. Not only you know what the weird thing was? For some reason I knew it was gonna miss.
Talaga?
Oh.
I
felt like I don't know why, but I felt like this not that Dondan was gonna choke, but
the way the game was
parang
going.
at that point feeling ko SMB na talaga.
Parang nung pumasok na interest ni
Arvin.
Arvin.
Parang yun it all goes back to maybe it really was their time and maybe ang gulo ng buko. Maybe it was really kumbaga and it was just and you know the thing is also shout out to Magu who was covering the game if I'm not mistaken or if it's Kinito said it, but London and Taveros in the series was only shooting 71% from the free throw.
That's the shocking stat.
71%. Parang what?
Ang di ko maintindihan.
But this is Davey.
But Calvin. I think Calvin was a more
No, Calvin, no, not Calvin. Calvin missed like 5 or 6 free throws before that.
Okay, fine.
It was JV talaga.
JV.
It was either between JV or Ontiveros.
But that was huge. I mean, that was huge. And if you're talking about storylines, yun yung isa sa mga storylines na bumagsak in this game.
Exactly.
Don was supposed to beat his former team.
How tinanong ni Chia Potpot, how do you explain the closing lineup of Alaska? closing lineup was Tos, Abueva, Casio, Ontiveros,
Azul.
and is it Azul or Echeminato?
Pinasok lang si Ping.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. That was a weird closing lineup, but I think they were going for decoy. They were going for shooters to pull away the and you saw it naman eh. Bukas na bukas yung gitna for Calvin to make the floater. It's just that he was really well contested by Arvin. So in a way, having Don Hazul and Casio there opened up for Arvin. It was just that SMB had a hell of a defensive stand for that final shot by Calvin. Yung di ko maintindihan was Coach Leo's substitution patterns ng third quarter and fourth quarter. Fortuna, Ronald
gosh.
Pascual. I mean,
If SMB lost,
babalikan natin yun, no?
may nagtanong nga, I forgot to, pero if SMB lost, coaching change ba sila ulit?
Oh yeah.
Really, you think?
I think so.
Oh.
I think so. Hello, di ba Ato won Petrona Championship and he was shipped a couple of conferences later.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not far from the realm of possibility, especially with how Coach Leo was coaching in this game. Mukhang they were close to losing na talaga if it weren't for the final few defensive stances that they put up.
That was if SMB lost, that would have been a nightmare.
Sorry, I just want to point out also may nagsabi, I mean, I was reading on Twitter that people are saying na parang kung yan yung lineup mo, dapat lang nananalo ka ng championship every year. My point is, San Miguel has seen a lot of coaches. They've been through a lot of coaches and they've had stronger lineups than this before. They've had bigger names in their lineups before, and this is like their first championships in 2011, their first All-Filipino since 2001. So, I mean, you have to give props to Coach Leo for bringing this team together. I mean, if anything, he took away that Petronovela tag and was able to instill a level of winning, a level of championship mentality to this team. And, you know, it's not easy for a coach to be able to coax Arvin Santos to play the role that he did. And also, pull Junmar to be able to lead this team. Because, I mean, in a way, Junmar's dominance the entire season paved the way for San Miguel to be here.
And I mean, as crazy as it was, to put in Fortuna and to put in si Ronald Pascual. And yeah, Alaska, was able to chip away at the lead. But the thing is, it somehow in a roundabout way worked because Alex Cabagnot was able to get a rest, Lutz was able to get a rest. And in the end, they all contributed.
Saktong pahinga.
Diba? Oh. So, kumaga, I guess sakto na kasi it came at a point na medyo may konting lead pa ata yung SMD. But then, that's why they were able to steal a few minutes. And it all paid off in the end. Again, it's an underrated coaching move by Leo Austria. It's something that we questioned when it was happening. Pero, at the end of the day, they're champions, and that's something that you cannot take away from Coach Leo Austria. He is a championship coach in the PBA right now.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Any other comments or feedback na nakikita mo?
Okay, here. Should Alex give a shout out to Sol Mercado in that interview after the game?
Oh, hindi ko narinig anong sinabi mo.
No. Let's talk about this whole Alex Cabagnot Sol Mercado dynamic. I mean, would SMB have won this with Sol Mercado against this Alaska defense? No, right?
The thing is kasi, one thing that really gave a lot of teams trouble playing as SMB is the penetration of Sol Mercado. It's a different dynamic from
Alex Cabagnot
outside shooting. Yeah, kasi outside shooting si Cabagnot, while si Sol naman, he would be able to penetrate and then find Fajardo. That's something that SMB really didn't have in this series. Kasi there were very few times na may naka-penetrate tapos napasa down low to Fajardo. So, I don't know, maybe right now in hindsight, maybe Sol wouldn't have been able to score 22 points versus Alaska's defense in Game 4, or maybe he wouldn't have been able to make clutch baskets in Game 7, di ba?
Yeah.
But who knows? It's a totally different dynamic. Sol's a much better defender than JV. For all we know, he could have locked down JV, could have locked down other shooters of Alaska. So who knows?
Ang sa akin lang, I think the way this Alaska team defends and the way they mentally and physically prepare for a team in a 7-game series, ma-figure out na yung game plan niya. I just feel that Alex Cabagnot's offense is much more diversified than Sol Mercado.
Sure.
Na he can attack the basket, he can hit mid-range, he can hit the three. And that offense was just a level above Sol's na that changed the game for SMB. They were able to adjust to Alex Cabagnot being part of the team. And even in game 4, they were able to, change up how they played from being Junmar centric to spreading the floor and allowing Junmar to be the focal point of the offense.
Yeah.
Yun lang yung point of view ko. But you can't take away what Sol Mercado gave to the team. You can't take away that he was one of the biggest reasons for SMB securing the twice to beat semi slot. And for that, I think Sol Mercado deserves a lot of credit for what he was able to contribute to San Miguel here.
Okay. Tinanong ni Chia Potpot, kulang ng go-to scorer ang Alaska. Sinong pwede makuha and who would you give up?
You know what?
Feeling ko go-to scorers are kind of overrated right now in the PBA. Is that fair?
It's fair. I mean, Junmar's a go-to scorer, but they needed a lot of other players to step up for them to get the win. And also, I believe that, JV had a bad series, but he's a go-to scorer for Alaska.
JV had a... Ngayon, now that tapos na, parang we thought that he would redeem himself after games 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Pero game 6 they won, but game 7, man, they needed him in the fourth quarter.
They needed him. They needed him
badly.
And it's also being highlighted how much of a defensive liability he is. Na minsan, it's not worth having him there if he's not gonna be able to defend guys like Cabagnot or even Sol Mercado were on that line.
A lot of things have... Well, here's the question I have. This is a good question from Chris Sitlani. Even in loss, do you still see the Aces as the new comeback kids? I guess.
Yeah.
They're not NSD. Comeback kids is nice.
Yeah.
This is something like that, something to that extent. Here's a question. Can they remain competitive for the next years to come? This is going to be... how do I phrase this properly? Personally, opinion ko lang naman, I think they take a bit of a step back in the second conference. Just because of how hard they played, just the intensity, just the energy that they've had to expel. And plus, aside from the Commissioner's Cup din naman when they won a championship, Alaska really doesn't really play well kapag imports although it's different kasi Coach Compton, he's a freaking genius. But the score of Alaska is pretty old. That's the thing. Parang Tos, Baguio, Ontiveros. I mean, Ontiveros, I don't know how long he has. Abueva. Totally walked into that. Sino ba? Si Tony De La Cruz. You have players like you have Hazul, Casio, Manuel is young, but it's gonna be interesting. That's why then this really meant so much to a lot of Alaska fans.
Yeah.
Because, who knows? Because this could have been the last one for Don Don. This could have been the last one even for Cyrus or for whoever, diba? But
you know what this Alaska team feels like? This Alaska team feels like the 07-08 Celtics. Alam mo yun? Like their core is pretty old, but they have a lot of undeveloped young guys that can possibly help. Pero if you don't replace the core properly, eventually your championship window will close. So, guys like Sonny Tos, they're invaluable for the team. So you really have to find a way to either develop Eman or find a replacement for Sonny Tos soon.
I thought that Sonny Tos proved a lot of people wrong in this game and in the series. Para sa akin kasi, sure, you need an entire team to stop or to slow down Junmar Fajardo, but it wouldn't have worked if kung yung anchor pa lang ng defense na yan was Sonny Thos not giving room for Junmar Fajardo to do his thing. So yun eh. But the thing is, you don't get players like Sonny Thos coming down the grapevine every single year. So he's a really special player. Sige, I think we can wrap up this podcast already because it's getting depressing already.
For you.
For me, obviously wala akong pake kasi tama ba the PBA starting next week already?
Yeah.
Tama no? Sige, last question or maybe last few questions. I'll throw it out for you right now. Do you think that this can be a dynasty for San Miguel?
Yeah.
Do you think that this is something sustainable? Despite they won a championship, but there are still a lot of questions. Like, if for example, if it were a team that were more stacked, like for example, Token Tex, would they be able to?
They ran through Token Tex.
Well, yeah, bad example. Ano ba, healthy Pure Foods? A healthy Pure Foods when they get Sanggalang back and then they get Blakey or something. Parang this is a team that hindi naman siguro Grand Slam, but this will be a perennial finals contender for years to come.
Yeah.
They're there. Eh, no?
They're there. I mean, and they tasted it. Eh. That's the problem. Eh. Before, kasi pag di pa natitikman ng SMB, medyo nagko-collapse yan. Kasi, they don't know what they're fighting for. Eh. But now that they tasted the championship, I think they're gonna fight hard for it. And, Coach Leo's not one to relax. So I feel that this could be a possible dynasty in the making. And you know what? Once Pure Foods is healthy, that's just gonna mean two teams that the rest of the PBA have to go through to get to the championship.
Yep. And then lastly, on the other side, for Alaska, I feel like losses like this are gonna take time to bounce back from.
Yeah. Okay, let's put it in perspective. It's Coach Alex's second conference with the team. So, in reality, we're still building this identity of Alaska. I mean, it's not yet fully constructed, but the foundation that he's built, it's really, really good. And, I mean, if they can somehow build on this loss rather than dwell on it, then we can see Alaska as a championship contender continuously. But the thing there is talent. They have to be able to upgrade in talent. And in order to do that, either they play the draft smart or trade assets away. So this isn't Alaska's not a team where you have a farm team readily available to pick from. You're going to have to give up assets to get assets. So it's a matter of being smart, and it's a matter of continuity for Alaska.
I'll say one last thing about Alaska before we go. I think the reason kung bakit sobrang sakit nitong loss na to was, well, the thing about it was, si Carlo, when he was in Araneta, he texted me na parang, pare, okay ka pa, humihinga ka pa, blah, blah, blah. I texted him na, parang, kasi at that point, 2 minutes left, or a minute left, tapos Alaska was still up 4. 2. 4. 2 pa, tapos hindi pa na-shoot ni Arvin yung 3 na yan. So, para at that point, I replied to him and I said, whatever happens, I'm okay with already. But something switched when Arvin Santos made that shot, and then SMB went on to win the game.
Biglang masakit.
I think what happened was is that parang at that point na-realize ko na parang kami yung Alaska was the dragon that SMB had to slay in order to become kings.
Yeah.
Imbis na kami pala yung heroes, kami pala yung tinatalo nung bida. Alam mo yun? Na parang, shucks, hindi pala para sa amin to. And that's what sort of really, what really hurt or made it hard to get through. But that being said, my God, what a season this was for the Alaska Aces. The Aces were, SMB was bigger, they were stronger, they were more talented, they were more athletic. But Alaska took every single shot. They pushed the series to a 7-game series when maybe not everyone would have been able to do so. Maybe other teams would have given up already, you know. But they kept fighting, they kept moving forward, and they gave everything they had really to beat this team. And but at the end of the day, you can sort of just rest in the knowledge na, you know what, wala ka na talagang mahingi sa team na to. If Arvin Santos is shooting 5 or 6 3-pointers in a game, and he shoots a clutch 3-pointer with 43 seconds left,
Para sa kanila talaga.
para sa kanilang talaga yun eh. So, that's why yung feeling ko, and I speak for all Alaska fans, yung lungkot talaga na Aces ngayon is not na bad trip kayo mga Alaska players kayo na natalo. It's more of sayang at kinapos lang tayo ng slide. Diba? But again, this has been a final series for the ages. There are so many amazing storylines. There are so many heroes that came up for both teams. At the end of the day, all you can do is just congratulate SMB because they went out, they kicked Alaska's butt, and they won this series in 7 games, and now it's their Philippine Cup for them to enjoy.
Yeah.
Diba? So, masaya ako para sa SMB. The thing is kasi, you know, Junmar is such a good guy. Arvin Santos, you start to appreciate him right now in this light, and sky's the limit for the Beermen. Yep. Good luck sa inyo next conference.
Talaga. Alam mo, gusto ko lang ma-reclaim next conference. Yung NSD hashtag from you guys.
Kailangan mo po.
Yun lang. Okay? Kahit na di mo na mag-champion, basta magpakita ng puso, makuha yung NSD, okay na muna kami doon.
Yun, so that's gonna do it for this championship recap.
Episode 107.
Yeah. We'll probably take a break next week, just to recap. Pero if anything juicy happens to in the start of the PBA conference, maybe. Pero for the most part, maybe kailangan ko magpahinga.
Emotionally.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm sure Carlos gonna have some articles out there. Maybe I'll try to write maybe 1 or 2 just to summarize everything. No? But
just to let stuff.
think ko kailangan. But you know, in the meantime, you can still check us out on Twitter, Chuck_Araneta, Paulo_Bustamante, and Carlo_Pamintuan.
Let me play you out.
Well, before that, we also want to congratulate Miko Halili and his team on Upper B. Sila Suzy 899, sila Sir Renren Ritualo, Jai Reyes, Charles Chu.
For those that missed FTW.
Yeah.
I mean, Upper B is there for you. You can check them out at buhaybasket.com.
Yes. Shout out also to Enzo Marcos.
Yeah.
Did you know, parang second cousin ata siya. Third cousin ko si Enzo Marcos.
Talaga.
So, kaya hindi ako nagugulat na yung dugong basketball nasa
Buhay basket talaga.
In buhay basketball talaga. So, check them out. Upper B on buhaybasket.com. Go ahead and play me out. Hindi ba pwede yung land before time na lang?
Hindi. This is for
alright, so on behalf of Paulo Bustamante,
what's up?
On behalf of Joaquim Noah, on behalf of Carlo Pamintuan, my name is Chuck Araneta. Congratulations to the San Miguel Beermen, your 2015 Philippine Cup champions. We're gonna be back soon. But in the meantime, enjoy the win. And for Alaska fans, life goes on. Ang buhay minsan bagyo, pero ang ulan nawawala din. Congratulations to SMB. We will see you next week, or we will see you soon for another episode of From the Stands.
Okay ka. Baka gusto mo muna i-stop yung broadcast.
Sorry.